All right, so new video. We're gonna pick it up at the breakdown now. So let's get into it. JD versus Carter. We already talked about this. My phone fucking screwed up. But we're gonna redo it. My team. I love my wide receivers and tight ends. I'm a little iffy on Gus Edwards and Damian Harris, but I think I got some strong flex options with Odell, Samuel, and Pittman Jr. I don't know. Let me hear you talk about my team.
Yeah, I agree. Stafford's going to be fine all year. He'll definitely be a top 12. That's all you're really looking for. Zeke, he's going to make or break your team this week. If Zeke can come out with 20 points against a strong Tampa defense on Thursday without Zach Martin, you're in for a good season. But I don't know that he's going to be able to do all that. On the other side, Brady on Thursday night, prime time opening day. They're going to raise the banner. He's going to be fired up. Aaron Jones and Montgomery, I think, are two excellent running backs. Ridley and Thielen are great. I don't love Thielen,
Yeah.
but Juju, Ravens versus Vegas, Gronk again on Thursday night. It's going to be Thursday. We're going to know it's going to be Brady and Gronk versus an undermanned Zeke without his best lineman. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm actually going to go with Carter on this one. I think his team, with all the fanfare on Thursday, just comes out to a huge advantage.
Yeah. For me with Matt's team, he has two very, very solid running backs. Aaron Jones, I don't think he's on the same level as Kamara or Cook or Henry and them, but he's reliable. He's gonna have you big weeks, and he might have you a dud or two, but he's going to finish in the top 7 running backs for fantasy. Catches the ball, runs the ball. He's reliable. I like him. I think he was a safe pick for Matt at number 6. I think a lot of people were thinking he might fall in the draft. Maybe get him like as a double on a turnaround.
Or something for him at 10.
Yeah, something like that. But I think Matt thought, hey, I don't want to go wide receiver first round. I don't really want Hill or Adams at 6, which is understandable. And then I don't think he wanted Jonathan Taylor or Najee or Chubb. So I think the safe fantasy play is going with Jones. I don't hate that at all. On the come around, he got Ridley. Last year, he was a stud. This year, he's by himself. I think the only guy you got to worry about is hopefully Pitts.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's Ridley's the main guy. Does he stay healthy? Is he able to put up what he did last year? Is he going to see double teams? No one knows, but he, based on last year, the guy's good. The guy's going to catch balls. He has a deep ball ability. I like him. For me though, for Matt's team, I'm just not certain on Thielen. He doesn't jump off the page. I know he's reliable. I think last year he was a little banged up, though. Is he getting older? Justin Jefferson's going to see a lot of the targets. They got Dalvin Cook. I think Kyle Rudolph's still the tight end. Is he the third option? Maybe even the fourth in some situations. That's a little bit iffy for me. And then for Juju, I think Juju, in the passing game, arguably could be the fourth or fifth option for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're going to have a Steeler wideout, it's got to be Deontay Johnson or Claypool. But even then, you got those two. I think are better than or have a better upside than Juju, and also Najee Harris out of the backfield. Everyone's been raving about him, about how good he is out of the backfield. That's another option. That's another guy that's taking targets away.
Yeah, no doubt. Plus, they're always going to try to get their tight ends involved.
Yeah, you got Ebron and the new guy. So I mean, Juju, there's only one ball. There's a lot of guys there. Who's going to get it? I just don't know if Juju's going to have that upside as a solid flex option for Matt. And then on the bench, Brandon Cooks could, but he got Tyrod Taylor. There ain't no Deshaun Watson. I'm not great on Matt's bench. And then also, I don't like Gronk through the whole season. I just don't think he's, I know they got Cameron Braid. I think they got another guy I can't think of. OJ Howard. I just don't like Gronk as an option there as a tight end. It's not my favorite, but for me, I think it's a close game. I think it comes down to Thursday. I'm picking Matt because Zeke could struggle without the O-line. Tampa's a tough D, but Dallas has a favorable schedule weeks 2 through 5, I think it is. So I'm hoping he picks it up then, is solid. But I think he struggles this week. I just don't think I have enough there with Zeke struggling to beat Matt. So I got Matt winning week 1.
Okay.
Let's do you versus Jake.
Me versus Jake.
Yep, Jake versus LB. For you, I'm going to flat out say it. I don't love the team. Your team. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I don't know. I think you got guys there that can have a couple big weeks here and there, but for the most part of the run of a, whatever 17-week or 14-week season for fantasy, I just don't see the longevity of it. I want to hear you explain the Chubb and Hunt duo. Do you like that or what?
I don't love it. I'm actually in talks about moving one of the two.
Okay.
But they both finished as top 12. I think they were 10 and 11 last year.
Okay.
So they're both. If Cleveland scores a running touchdown, I get it.
Yeah, I mean they run the ball.
They do run the ball. That's a team. If you're going to the Ravens or the Browns, you're going to be in good shape. I guess San Fran, they run a lot too.
Yeah.
It's just the way it fell. I needed a backup without having a chance at Jones, Gibson, or Montgomery. I had to bounce to Hunt. I didn't want to do it, but I'll take him if he's there.
Yeah. I think there's good value at Hunt where you got him at.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about Jalen Hurts, but again, I punt quarterback.
I am. I think that's a strong point of your team.
Yeah.
I like him. I think he does well. I just don't think Philly trusts him. I don't think they really like him a lot, so we'll see. But I think fantasy-wise, with his feet and arm, I think he can put up some points for you. For me, though, on your wideouts, I love Allen Robinson. I think even with Dalton and eventually Justin Fields, I think he's a great target. I think he's going to catch balls, score touchdowns. I think he's very good, reliable, solid our wide receiver 1. After that, though, I'm iffy on AB. I don't get the whole – I personally don't think I'd like to have both Chubb and Hunt. And Mostert, I don't know. I think the first couple weeks he'll be reliable for you, but I think he'll slowly drift off for Trey Sermon.
Yeah, Sermon will step up, and Mostert, I believe, recorded the fastest running touchdown of the running backs last year. So he has blazing speed, and Kyle Shanahan's a running guy.
Yeah, I agree.
And if he's not, I have Brandon Ayuk. So I have a lot of San Fran, I have a lot of Cleveland.
But I do like Hurts, man. I really do. I do like Hurts. For Jake, though, go ahead. You take Jake's team first, and I'll piggyback off it.
Herbert's a stud.
Yeah.
Edwards being hurt is huge for me.
Yeah.
Robinson, I guess he'll be okay at the beginning of the year, but there's a reason they drafted a running back. Although he got hurt, I don't want Robinson carrying the whole load. Hopkins is great.
Yep.
Evans, I would take Brown over Evans. I know Evans is getting drafted way higher than Brown, but I would take Brown over Evans.
I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah, Logan Thomas. The best thing about tight ends this year is I don't care.
Because you got him.
Better tight end than me, so I don't care who's playing any other position at tight end.
Yeah.
Look at his bench. I really do like Corey Davis. I'm a big Corey Davis fan this year, and I think J.D. McKissick is going to do a lot as well. So, and Brian Evers, they keep talking about him as a sleeper, so he definitely has moves. I see a backup defense here.
How do I talk about your team and I didn't even bring up Kelsey?
I'm curious, but
here's my thing though. I'll touch base with this on Germ's team as well. I don't think Waller and Kelsey do what they did last year. I think last year was pretty crazy, but I still think Kelsey is a wide receiver 1. Yeah. So you got who did I say? I'm not a big fan of AB or your wide receiver 2 or flex options. You have 2 wideouts. You have Kelsey and you have Allen Robinson. So those are 2 high-end wide receiver 1s who are going to catch balls. Jake May, though, you're right, man. Eckler's out this week. I already wrote down who I picked. I picked Jake to win. But if Eckler's out, I think it could be you. I think Jake May's team on paper is better, but Eckler's out. Who's he putting in? You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. I like Hop. I like D Hop. And like you mentioned, I'm not a big fan of Bucks wide receivers. Not a fan of Gronk or any of the tight ends they have. I don't like Chris Godwin. I don't like Mike Evans. I just think it's similar to Pittsburgh, where there's a lot of guys where one of them's going to have a huge week one week, and then the next week they might only catch one or two balls. I think Mike, I just, that's my feeling on the Tampa Bay Bucks. They got two running backs that are going to share carries, I think, for the most part. I just think there's so much to go around. I just don't think one of them's reliable. I do like Logan Thomas, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think that's a good combo. Get some targets, red zone targets, and watch out for Devontae Smith. I think Jalen Hurts might let it air. They got a nice little connection, I believe.
I'm okay with that.
Let them air it out. But for me, I'm just gonna stick with Jake. I already wrote down my pick'em. I picked Jake. I don't want anyone calling me out saying, "Oh, you cheat." I'm gonna send a picture of the pick'em once everyone submits it. I'll put a picture in the group chat, and then that'll be final.
Yeah,
but
I actually was gonna take Jake myself, but now looking at
Yeah.
Eckler's questionable, I'm gonna take me. I don't think he can match.
Yeah.
I don't think his running backs can match mine, and I think my wide receivers are right there with his at this point.
Yeah.
And Kelsey puts me over the top.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I think Eckler's
The Rams are playing against Andy Dalton, so I'll probably get the Rams will get the high score of the week.
Eckler's a big question mark. But if he plays, I think it's Jake. But even if he doesn't, I'm still gonna stick with Jake. I don't know why. I just already had it written down, so I'm just gonna leave it. But I like Jake's team though overall. It's not bad. I think there's three teams that pretty much stick out for me that I'm like, shit, this is a pretty freaking good team from top to bottom. And then I think everyone else is just kind of like there. I think like you'll see in my rankings, like whoever I have ranked 4th, I think could be ranked 10th, or whoever's ranked 11th or 12th, I think could easily go to like 4 or 5. So I think it's more of a jumble there. But let's move on to Warren versus Paul. So, Warren versus Paul. Go ahead. You handle this matchup.
Okay. Warren is my favorite team outside of my own, and Paul's team there's red all over it.
Yeah.
Barkley questionable. Swift isn't questionable right now, but I know he is hurt. Golladay questionable. Kittle, we know his injury history. Lamar, They always say he's a hit away. I like Paul's team. I like Paul's opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you're going out on paper, I would definitely take Warren's team. Kyler's probably a QB1, probably the QB1 this year. I kind of liked him a lot. Gibson was one of the guys I wanted. Yeah, I don't know how he got Hill and CD Lamb with Gibson and Kyler. Mike Davis, I don't think is good, but at some point you need to fall off again, and he did, but he also followed that up, with a Jamar Chase, Henry Ruggs. He has, 3 tight ends? Hooper, Hunter Henry.
He got options. He has options.
He has options, but I like his team. I don't think he has much depth.
No.
I'm looking at running back, Chuba Hubbard, and so he's handcuffing David. Yeah. No, he's not. He's handcuffing McCaffrey, but I don't care about his bench. His bench isn't good, but if he runs with these starters, he should be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Lamar's going to have to put up 50 points to offset the fact that Golladay and Barkley are not 100%.
Yeah, for me with Warren, I really love his pass catchers. Like you mentioned, the 3 tight ends. I think he's going to have options. He can say, hey, who got the favorable matchup this week? Boom, roll with that one. CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, I think both have great years. I think CD's going to only benefit from Dak being back. Him and Amari Cooper will be fine. I think CD Lamb has a big year number 2 under his belt. Tyreek Hill's Tyreek Hill. I don't mind Claypool. I think he's the guy to have if you have a Steeler. Wideout, I like Jamar Chase, and Henry Ruggs has big playability. I think he takes a big step in year 2 as well. After Gibson, though, I think it's a absolute huge question mark. I don't love Mike Davis. I don't know much about him, though. Is he going to be reliable? Or are they just going to throw the ball 50, 60? I mean, I don't know what Atlanta's going to do.
If Gibson isn't a top
if Gibson's not a top 5-10 back, Warren's team struggles.
Yeah, he's going to have to make a move.
Because there is no, I mean, he does.
He's going to have Hunt or Chubb.
His third round, his second off, third. I mean, after Davis, you got Chuba Hubbard. I just don't see it with the running backs, but I do love his patch catchers. I love Kyler Murray. I think Gibson does have a big year, but if he doesn't, Warren's team, I think, would fall quickly to the bottom of my rankings.
Could happen.
For Paul, though, like you said, there's red everywhere. Team's banged up. His team has an injury history.
Paul does, though. I just realized that he struggled out of the gate last year and then put a big winning streak together. So maybe that's what he does. He drafts upside over availability, and I mean it's
I don't know
if he's comfortable with. I mean, Davante Adams is good. Lamar Jackson is good. Kittle is great.
Yeah, I mean he has great guys. I think every guy in his first 4 rounds, he got unbelievable value. Me personally, I don't like Saquon. I think the Giants stink. And also, I will touch on this. Paul has Swift. That team stinks.
Yeah.
Are they going to be trailing most of the game? Yeah, he'll catch
on the first quarter.
Yeah, he'll get some pass catches, but they're not going to I don't see him getting 15, 20 rushing attempts.
In case you don't know, the Giants' offense stink too, and
he got two. He got 2 of them. He got Saquon behind that line, and then you got Kenny Golladay. They stink. The Giant. He arguably has 3 or 4 guys on the worst teams in the league. That's scary for me a little bit. That bothers me quite a bit. And their health issues bother me. And I think I love Kittle. He's banged up a little bit here all the time. And they got so many weapons over there that they spread that ball around so much. Obviously, you like Kittle. He gets him in the late 3rd. He gets Saquon late 1st. And then 14th overall, he gets the best wide receiver in the league, Davante Adams. Great value.
Yeah, I think that's a big pick for him.
I think Paul has the chance. His team has a chance to be good. I just need to see a couple weeks of it. For me, he's going to be, I think, towards the bottom a little bit. But he has a chance to get to the top quickly. For me, though, week 1, I'm taking Warren to win the matchup week 1.
I concur.
But I think both teams could have the ability to be very good. But I think one misstep or one injury from one of their guys, I just think plummets them down and hurts them.
I think that's with almost anybody.
Yeah.
I think everyone drafted really well. There's only 4 teams I think need some things their way, and actually one of them is Paul's, and that's because of all his injury concerns. But like I said, they get healthy, he got a team.
I agree.
He has arguably the number 3 overall pick. He got the 11th pick. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Let's move on to Joe versus Cam. For me, this is, I think, my matchup of the week. I think both teams are projected like the highest amount this week, and they just happen to play each other.
1 point away.
For Joe, CMC obviously is CMC. Does he get back to being him? I think so. I think having a quarterback now only gives him more of an advantage. I think out of the backfield, you got a guy throwing to him. You got, running the ball. I like CMC. I think Darnold helps him a lot. And Mixon. I like Mixon, but he screwed me over a few times. I passed on him. I hope I don't regret it. But he's going to get the volume. They're going to run the ball. He's going to get the ball out of the backfield. I think he's a solid RB2. I like Kupp. I like Hawkinson. I like Deontay Johnson, and I like Waddle. To me personally, though, I don't know how I feel about A.J. Brown bringing over Julio. You got Derrick Henry. They're obviously going to run the ball. And then you add Julio Jones. So I don't know how I feel about A.J. Brown.
That's an interesting stack, the Tannehill-Brown stack.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say I hate it, but I don't like it by any means.
But Brown costs you a lot. And you said with Julio coming over, with Derrick Henry, they're gonna. I don't know. He was great last year.
Yeah, he was.
For a lot of the year, so I don't think he's terrible. But
nope. Me with Joe though, this is one of my top teams. I think I like Joe's team. But he's one of the teams also that's right in the mix of like, just the middle of the pack for me. But he's the higher end of the middle of the pack, if that makes sense. For Cam, this is one of my favorite teams, I think. I love Cam's team. I love Josh Allen. I love Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Lockett, Mark Andrews. Who else is there? I have it written down, but I can't read it.
Mark Andrews, Robbie Anderson.
Anderson, that's it. Robbie Anderson. I think Cam's solid all over. Don't love his RB2. I know he was mad that I picked Harris. What's his first name?
Najee here? I don't know.
No, Patriots guy.
Oh.
Damian
Harris. I think Damian Harris.
He was mad. He texted me, he was like, fuck you, that was my pick. I wanted him, Damian Harris. So but he settled for Henderson. But I think his team's solid all over. I really do. I think this matchup is very good. These teams are both very good. They both have some solid matchups, like individually. But I think the running back position's a little bit even. But give me Cam's wide receivers all day. For me personally, I'm taking Cam this week. I like Cam's team. It's one of my favorite teams. I think he wins.
Cam's team is one of my favorite teams as well.
Yeah.
Josh is probably, he could be quarterback 1. Dalvin Cook could be running back 1.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson could be wide receiver 1. Tyler Lockett's easily a wide receiver 2.
Yep.
Mark Andrews is one of the 5 elites now. I love Robbie Anderson. He has a ton of target value. He gets thrown at a lot.
Yeah.
Joey's team, Tannehill's very fine. McCaffrey's McCaffrey. Mixon, if he's coming back healthy, Mixon is someone to worry about. Like we said about Brown, though, I'm not really sold on Brown, and I don't like Kupp this year. We have to remember that Kupp is now with a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Who knows what they do? Hawkinson is very steady. Deontay Johnson is going to get that deep work, but not this week versus Buffalo. And Joey with the Michael Thomas late.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't even know if it's that late he took him. I think he took him kind of early.
No, I think he took him way earlier than he needed to.
I mean, the guy's hurt till like week 6 or 7 when he can come back, and then I was reading he might not even come back.
I don't know if they're bad. Why would come back?
Why would you? Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there.
I actually don't love Joey's team. I don't love his receivers. If you're going to invest that much on a wide receiver, Brown wouldn't be the guy. I don't know if Jefferson was available, but I would, especially with this case, Cook and Jefferson. That's a tough go.
No, Jefferson went round 2.
Cam can only get one touchdown unless Cook's throwing it to Jefferson. But
yeah,
that's kind of one of those things you weigh out though. So I don't know if there's an opportunity to move something there, but. I like Cam's team a lot. I like Josh Allen. I think he's going to be enough, and Cam will win this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cam's team.
With McCaffrey playing the Jets, I don't even think he sees the field in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I love Cam's team. I'm glad we could both agree upon that. I think he had a great draft. Very solid. Let's move on to Randy versus Chief. You can start.
Okay, with next team, Mahomes, which I don't draft quarterbacks early, so I felt he drafted Mahomes early, but he got his guy, so good for him. Henry, again, I'm a PPR guy. That's why I was reluctant to draft Chubb. I was thinking about Mixon, but it's hard to justify a non-pass catching running back that early, unless his name is Derrick Henry, so we'll see how he holds up. Josh Jacobs, there's a question mark with who's that? Drake is there now, I believe. Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
You never know goofy coach they have out there.
Yep.
Lunatic. We talked about this 10 times now. Godwin, Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I agree.
And Julio, another question mark, new team. He still got it. He didn't practice much this year. Higbee is interesting. When I'm going in my head, I said, I'm going to take Kelsey here, but if I go somewhere else, I have to target Higbee. He's the last tight end on that tier I would target. So I really think Higbee's in for a pretty big year. Just knowing how Hawkinson did with Stafford, now Stafford's throwing to Higbee. So I think there's something there. Chark, I don't love.
No.
I don't love it at all. I'm kind of just looking at this team as I go. Other side though, Dak and Taylor and Edwards-Helaire, three big question marks, but three guys with huge upside.
I agree.
Robert Woods, another Stafford product. We'll see how he does. Um, the only difference here is he has Cooper and Higgins, who, for my money, is a fantastic wide receiver duo for the price he paid for them.
Yeah.
Gesicki stinks, but it's a tight end, so who cares?
Yeah, I agree.
But I think in the long run, Randy got a solid team. My only question mark with Randy's team is he has two elite defenses. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. I
And
mean,
then looking at the other, who's this? And then looking at Nick's team, he has Latavius Murray, who's currently not on a team. He has a backup tight end for the Steelers. And if you're going to draft Pat Mahomes in the second round, I hate that you wasted more capital on Matt Ryan. You could have probably got him on the free agent wire, but it's just what I think about.
yeah. For me though, just real.
Although I do like Cortland Sutton a lot. I miss Cortland Sutton. I do like Cortland Sutton a lot. So he gets.
For me, I think Mahomes is obviously a tier of his own. I like Henry as his RB1. I think Josh Jacobs can be a solid RB2 to start off. By the end of the year, is he? I don't know. But I think the first couple weeks he's going to see the ball. I don't think they're just going to forget about him. I don't think he's the 3-down back, but he'll be able to get some touches. This is what I'm not a fan of, though. Godwin, Julio, Chark, not a fan at all. Like I said, I've said it before, don't like any of the Tampa guys. Julio, on the other side of, what I said about A.J. Brown, Julio's there. Is he the main guy? Do they stick with A.J. Brown? I don't know. They still have Derrick Henry. Who knows? I just think there's a lot to go around there. Not a fan of that.
That's another interesting stat. Henry and Jones.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee scores, he's going to have a good shot at whoever does it.
Yeah.
And I also wrote down here for my notes, his bench is very weak in my mind. Not a huge fan of it. Chiefs team, I don't mind the Henry pick at 3. I think it's solid, but I don't think round 2, I wouldn't have gone Mahomes. I'm not a big fan on quarterbacks like that early. I would have took someone else. He had options like Metcalf. He had Waller, Kittle like he had guys available to stack the team. For me, I wouldn't have done that. And then his 3rd round pick was Josh Jacobs. I think there's better value there at a wide receiver position, or like Miles Sanders or someone else along the lines like James Robb. Like someone else I think would have been there over Josh Jacobs.
You like Jacobs too much.
I'm not a huge fan of Josh Jacobs.
I don't mind Jacobs. I like him better than Miles Sanders. I'll tell you that. Like
Yeah.
you had,
I think I'd rather have Miles Sanders.
Mixon may have scored you. Miles Sanders scored me last year, 2nd round pick in my other league, and it was disgusting watching him put up 4 points a game.
Yeah. For me though, for on the other side for Randy, this is like he's one of my favorite teams here. It's one of my favorites. I have him very highly ranked. I think he's solid all over. Fantasy wise, I think Dak's a top 5 guy. I think Taylor and CEH are 2 really good. I wouldn't consider them high-end RB1s, but I think they're both solid middle RB1s where he has them as a 1 and 2.
They're going to catch. They have an opportunity to catch passes.
I like them both. I think they find the end zone. I think they catch balls. I think they're 2 very solid running backs. And Amari Cooper and Robert Woods, I love it. I love Woods and Stafford. I think the connection is going to be there. I think it's going to be his favorite target. I wanted Robert Woods. I thought Randy maybe took him a little too early, but not that early because I was going to scoop him on the way around, so he took him in the right spot. I wanted him. I was upset that he went where he went. And then Amari Cooper gets Dak back. You remember last year, Amari Cooper and Dak, and the year before, they were money. I think it only helps with both of them together. For this week, though.
So, while you say about Dak, so I'm not a big quarterback drafter. If you take the average points of every quarterback that played. Like Dak obviously didn't finish in the top
Yeah.
12 because he played 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But the weeks he did play, Dak averaged number one, 30.5 points, 30.7. And a number 12 quarterback was Tannehill, 25 points.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a 5-point difference from the best to the last starter. That's why I don't like drafting quarterbacks early. I'll kind of let them fall to me.
I agree. Dak, I think he'll be solid. I don't know. I like Randy's team a lot. For me this week, I'm taking Randy. I don't think it's very close.
Yeah, I have Randy as well.
All right, let's move to the last game here. Randy is also my pick for high scoring week this week, by the way.
Oh, I didn't look at that.
But last game of the year, I'll need this. After you pick your last game here, I'll need your pick for high scoring. Last game of the week, Germ versus Tyler, two friends of mine. Everyone's a friend of mine in this league, but I talk to these two guys a lot. Little starting out of the gate. Fucking Mike calls out Tyler during the draft for picking a defense or a kicker. I don't know which one it was. They get to face each other week 1, baby. For Germ, this is a team I didn't know how I feel about. Not huge on it. I don't love it. I just don't. I'm iffy about it. I think there's. I don't want to say I like it, but I don't hate it. I know I keep saying that a lot. I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm iffy on the Russ Metcalf combo. I like Russ, but he fell off last year after the first. He had like 2 unbelievable weeks, but that was like the outlier in his season. It kind of fell off.
The weird thing last year was let Russ cook, and everyone said that because they went to a running attack. And I think as of today, it's still accurate, but the Seattle Seahawks carry 4 wide receivers. They carry Metcalf, they carry
Lockett,
and 2 other guys. That's it.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball.
They're very thin at wide receiver, so I'm not sure that they're going to have many big-time wide receiver. They're not having 3 or 4 guys on the field at one time, so it might be another running game. And
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like a lot of money to waste on Russ Wilson if you're not going to throw.
I agree. I don't know how I feel about the combo. I'm not huge on Metcalf. I think he has the ability to hit home runs every week, but I think there's going to be those weeks where Seattle lines up, runs the ball 30 times, and Russ might only throw it 15 times. I don't know, but the Lockett's there. I don't know. Kamara, obviously, he was my favorite running back. I thought there was a chance that Mike maybe would have took Zeke at number 2. So there was a chance I thought that that the draft was going to go CMC, Zeke, Henry, Cook, and I thought maybe I could get Kamara at 5. I would have been thrilled with that. I love Kamara. I think he's my RB1. I love that Winston's starting. I think Kamara's going to be hit up out of the backfield a good bit, checkdowns. I think they're going to run the ball with him. I really like Kamara. I think it's great. I think, though, Wilson and Kamara, I like. And then Metcalf, question mark. What the hell is, who knows what Myles Gaskin? Shalat or Shalut? I don't know. Chenault. I can't read my writing. Judy, I don't know. Big question marks. I don't think Waller does what he done last year. It was like NFL record with like passing targets and I don't know. I just don't see it. And but I like Sermon stacked on his bench there. I think that's a nice like middle of the year takes over guy to have. But Mike's team doesn't really stick out that well to me. Not high on it. On the other side of it, his competition this week, Tyler. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, him and Adams, I think are going to have a huge year. Huge year with their like last go around kind of thing, last dance or whatever they were talking about. Big year for them. Najee, I know he's a rookie, but from what they're saying in the camp and how much he's ready, he's going to get the workload. He's going to carry the ball. He's going to catch the ball to the backfield. That's why I didn't want anywhere picks like 7 through 10. I didn't want to have to settle for a rookie running back, but I think he'll be solid. I like Miles Sanders. I think it's a solid RB2. I know you don't like him. I think he's going to get the ball. I think the read option with Hurts. I think checkdowns. I think he's going to be fine. I love Stephon Diggs. I think he's great. Wide receiver 1. DJ Moore with Darnold, I think is a great combo. I think him and Robbie Anderson are going to excel this year. And Chris Carson as his flex. That's his 3rd running back, technically. I love that. I really like that. I think they're going to run the ball. I think he was solid last year. I like Chris Carson's, and he got my man Tyler Boyd on the bench. I draft him every year. I was upset I didn't get him. I don't know where he went, but obviously I usually take him. Even in Cincy though, there's a lot of young guys. They got like 3 or 4 options there as well. Boyd, I hope he continues to have a good career, but I like Boyd. This week, I'm taking Tyler to win. That's my pick to win, and I also really like his team.
I think we might be opposite on a few things here. I like the Wilson Metcalf stack. I think that's like one of the best stacks because they don't cost a ton. Kamara, I think, is great, although I don't think he's going to get as much work out of the backfield. Winston tends to throw deep a lot more instead of dump it off. That's why he threw for 40 interceptions or whatever it
Well,
was.
he's
30.
in a Drew Brees offense now, buddy.
I think Chenault is terrible. I would move Judy into that spot and cut Chenault and find another flex. But if he gets that, I have him as my fringe team. If he replaces Chenault and Judy is decent, I think he has a really good chance. Other side, Aaron Rodgers, we keep talking about people that might be falling off. Aaron Rodgers had 40 touchdowns last year. There is no way he can throw for 40 touchdowns again this year.
I agree with that.
Najee will get the work, but he has an awful offensive line. And they have a really tough schedule. He has to play the Browns twice, the Ravens twice, Buffalo defense. He has a lot of big, insane college defenses.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders, again, I think is awful. Chris Carson's his number 1 running back. Don't think he's his flex. Chris Carson's the best running back on that team. I love Diggs. I love Moore. His receivers are really good. Fans, okay. I don't, again, care